Ladies and gentlemen, Bailey Humphrey is the name that we speak of today. From the Gold Coast Suns, the Pies have inquired about the young man. It's time to talk all things black and white. Bailey Humphrey. Damien Hardwick dubbed this man the next Dustin Martin. So when we lead into a video with that statement from a GOAT coach, an all-time Hall of Famer type of coach in Damien Hardwick, you're going to find it pretty hard to poach or snap Bailey Humphrey away from the Gold Coast Suns, contracted until the end of 2028. What are we talking about? Xander Maguire reported 26 minutes ago, the hunt for Bailey Humphrey is set to explode over the next fortnight, despite Gold Coast saying he's not for sale and contracted until 2028. Collingwood, Carlton, and Melbourne continue to pursue him hard. They believe his head can be turned. So it's important to note that Bailey Humphrey is from Melbourne, and while I do say that, I am going to quickly confirm that so I don't look like an absolute egghead, so bear with me. He's 21 years of age, from Gippsland Power, so yeah, he's from Melbourne. This guy reeks of superstar potential and just has that ability to break a game within a 10-15 minute spurt, like we saw against, was it Fremantle, where he kicked 3 goals in a quarter. So, and he's still building. He's going to become a clearance beast, and he's going to be able to roll forward. The blueprint for a Dustin Martin type of player. There's obviously a lot to get to that status, but to be in the same stratosphere of the name of Dustin Martin, it says a lot. And it says a lot when your coach is saying that. It also makes it even harder to bring him, or just, like I said, snap him away from Gold Coast. Carlton are a part of the conversation, as to a Melbourne. What are Collingwood going to do? What are we possibly going to offer Bailey Humphrey to bring him to the club next year? He's in Victoria right now, so he's visiting family. He's definitely going to have these meetings, okay? But I just keep in mind, Xander Maguire was the same guy who said the Pies inquired about Charlie Curnow, and that was as far as it got. So take that with a grain of salt. Xander Maguire gets a lot right, and I'm not sure if he's just throwing Collingwood into the hat to make this headline even greater than what it is. Such a great player potentially leaving with such great potential. Carlton and Melbourne would without knowing what their picks are, they're going to have some outgoing players. So they're going to have picks available. And what is Humphrey worth at the end of the day? Well, you'd argue Gold Coast, having Bailey Humphrey contracted until the end of 2028, he's worth 2 first-round draft picks, minimum. And Collingwood can't even offer a first-round draft pick and a second-round draft pick unless someone like Bobby Hill was to go to West Coast, unless Beau McCreary was to go to Gold Coast, but Beau has already pledged his loyalty to the club. So, and even then, like Beau, you'd be lucky, as great as a player as he is, as far as how other clubs would view it, I don't think they would offer a first round draft pick for Beau McCreary in exchange. And this is without even factoring in the point that Beau doesn't want to leave, and that we don't want Beau to leave. I would hate for Beau to go to another club and then he adds the midfield string to his bow and becomes this 20-touch player who kicks 2 goals a game. That's the upper limit, right? That's what I feel the upper limit is, but I feel like that potential to go into the midfield more, earn those clearances like he did in the final series. I think I want to see that with Beau in the black and white. And I do digress, but I'm just thinking of, if we are looking at trying to get Bailey Humphrey to the club, if it's true, as reported by Xander Maguire, what do we have up our sleeve? Are we cooking something? Are we cooking something behind the scenes? Is Bobby Hill a big part of this? Beau McCreary. I'm trying to think. There's no one real. There's probably no one else that's real trade bait that we genuinely consider, and I would hardly even consider Beau. Uh, Look, it's the off season. It's the silly season. We're going to report on anything that gets leaked, so you guys are up to date with it all. I'm wondering if maybe this is a conversation where Collingwood have inquired and they're asking the question for next year. So maybe the meeting that they potentially have while he's in Melbourne is, hey, we can't get you now. Can you stay at Gold Coast for another year? And we'll come hard for you next year. We guarantee we can get you to the club. So maybe there's that. I'm thinking if Collingwood had draft capital available, I'm sure we would have gone hard, but we just don't have it. We simply just don't have it. We don't know what our salary cap looks like. We've paid Elliott what he deserves. There's conversations of potentially Clary coming to the club. Stephen May no longer. It's an interesting one, isn't it? It really is. But yeah, I don't see this going any further than where we're at right now. It's a shame because he would fit that perfect play. He's somewhere between, okay, if there's levels to it, there's Dustin Martin at the top, and then somewhere down the line is Jordan De Goey, and then somewhere around here is Bailey Humphrey. So you'd have a great player to learn from. And he'd be that next guy. And he'd be that guy who can be a contest bull, a clearance bull, can go forward and kick goals. And then we aren't so dependent on our key position forwards showing up. And that's what we've done so well as a club over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, going back to 2018. We've always found a way to compete for premierships without superstar key position forwards. So players like Bailey Humphrey definitely allow you to continue to do that. Jamie Elliott would allow you to continue in doing that. So I'm just trying to think. Are the pies? Is there anything in this? Is there anything in this at all? I mean, I'll leave it to you guys in the comment section. You let me know. Like, even if you ask, what is the absolute least amount of draft capital Gold Coast would accept? And if Bailey Humphrey was demanding that he gets traded and refuses to come back to the club, which is not a good look. And I don't know if you want a player who would do that anyways, but you look at Bailey Smith. Going into the trade period last year, and I think everyone else thought Bailey Smith was worth 2 first-round draft picks. Geelong get him for a measly late first-round draft pick. But even then, we don't have that. But we could if we make trades with players like Bobby. Outside of that, I don't see any other possibility. Can we seek exemption from the AFL? Unlikely. We've used our last 2 first-round draft picks. I think by the letter of the law, you must use 2 of your first-round draft picks every 4 years. So that would mean we have to use our first-round draft picks next year in a draft. Is that correct? But then you can still access drafts from the future beyond. It gets messy. It does get messy, but there is a way to access future drafts, future first-rounders. It gets tricky when you have to use 2 every 4 years. Let me just quickly search this up before we end this video because I do want to clarify. What is the rule of the AFL requiring clubs to use 2 first-round draft picks every 4 years? Let's let ChatGPT cook this up, guys. I think this is important to note. Clubs must use 2 first-round draft picks in every rolling 4-year period to prevent clubs from completely trading away their first-round picks. So, rolling 4-year period. Okay, so what's the current rolling period? What is the current 4-year rolling period? Because if it's, say, like 2022 to 26, then it's a completely new window, right? The requirement that clubs must use every 4 years comes into effect from 2025. It's a rolling period, meaning that at any point you look back over the past 4 drafts to check if the club has used at least 2 first-round picks. For example, by the end of 2028, a club's past 4 years would include 2025, 26, 27, 28. If a club hasn't used 2 first-round picks over that rolling window, it faces restrictions, inability to trade future firsts until it makes up the shortfall. So that sounds like, to me, the rule is applied from here on out moving forward. So does that mean we could access 26, 27 and then use 28 and 29 in the draft? Let me know in the comment section, guys. Or if that will, the rules being applied now, but it would account for 21, 21, or sorry, 22, 23, 24, 25. Oh, so it'll be 21, 22, 23, 24. Let me know, guys. Help me out. Thank you for watching. And as always, go Pies.